Oh, seeing those two together really makes it sink that I'm back here. Thinking about it, I wonder how all the others here are doing. I know Estelle and Joshua are abroad at the moment, but I've got no idea what the others are up to. Is that you, Father Graham? Alright, so Joshua and Estelle are... I know at the end of Sky 2, they talked about going on a journey. I guess they're on that journey. Lieutenant Colonel Sid. Oh, Sid, my man. Good to see you again. I'm pleased to see you've been keeping well since we last met at the banquet. Same to you, sir. Gotta say, I wasn't expecting you to be the army representative who came to meet me, though. I figured it'd be Julia. It may have been, but she's currently out on another mission, so unfortunately, you'll have to make do with me. I didn't have anything better to do, so I came in her place. There's no need to be so modest. A little bird told me you're going to be promoted to full-on colonel soon, aren't you? Shouldn't be surprised that your people have such good information network, but I still am. Still, I'm afraid I still feel the position is too much of a responsibility for me as I am. Brigadier General Bright still has plenty of work left in him too. I wouldn't want to take any of it from him. Poor Cassius is still getting worked up to the bone. Anyway, getting down to business, it's in Grand Cell Cathedral, right? That's correct. It's being kept underneath, to be more specific, although I imagine you're already aware of that much. I hear laymen like myself can't even enter it without the knight's permission. Pretty much. It's a special place, you see. I'll fill you in on the details when we get there. Alright then. Well, we may as well head there right away. There's someone I want you to meet in the cathedral. Huh? Who? Let's just say someone who's been assisting with the case. They'll be apprising you of the details on what you're dealing with here. No, displayed in Grand Cell 2. Not just the Genis Royal Academy. This is the Grand Cell music. Although, no, the Grand Cell Castle music is what I was thinking of. I was like, no, it's not Grand Cell, because I was thinking of the Grand Cell Castle music. But Grand Cell... Normal Grand Cell had this track, just like the Genis Royal Academy. I'm pretty sure. Ah, there you are. Good to see you again, Archbishop. You look really well. Huh? And you must be... I wasn't expecting you to be quite this young. You look like a Lunar character. The character designs of Trails always give me Lunar vibes. How old are you? 22, but only 22? I don't know if they said his age in the second game, but I would not have taken Kevin for 22. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought Kevin would be like mid-20s, but yeah, 22 checks out. He looks young. That's a lot younger than I expected. Are the Grossritter really so short-staffed that they're handing out their most important post to kids? 22 is not a kid. What are you talking about? You can't blame me for assuming the Fit Dominion would look like more of a veteran, can you? Ha! Your surprise is written all over your face. Someone in your position should have a much better poker face than that. Maybe you need to redo your training from scratch, or are you just acting? I wonder. How do you? Professor Russell, please. Professor Russell, this is this Tita's mom? He isn't here for you to try to pick a fight with him. Please try and be a little less deliberately provocative. What? Hell no. What is that face? He's here to steal the thing we went through so much effort to bring up, and you want me to play nice? And kindly don't call me that ever again. I don't want to be addressed in the same way as that old coot. Of course, ma'am. Wait, Russell? Then are you? I suppose I should introduce myself. I'm Erika Russell. I'm sure it's not a name you're going to forget anytime soon. Well, this is probably like Tita's mom. That's cool. We never saw Tita's mom in Sky 2. I was honestly not expecting Tita's mom to make an appearance in this game. Still, I shouldn't expect to run into Tita's mother here. I heard you and your husband were both living abroad. What brought you back? What do you think? After all that went down here, there was no way I was staying out of the country any longer than I had to. Though, with how remote the region we were in is in, it was all over by the time the world... I cannot read today. Had we found out sooner, I sure wouldn't have let that maniac put half the crap he did. Doesn't sound like you're too happy with the professor nowadays, huh? Talk about an understatement. That whack job actually took my little girl to that floating city with him. I get that he's soft towards her, but that's no excuse for exposing her to danger. She's got a gun. She's got a cannon. Tita's fine. You have no idea what Tita went through in the first 2 Sky games. Mostly Sky 2. That's fair. And as if it isn't bad enough, he let that redhead scumbag get near her too. Ooh. You're not a fan of Agate, I guess. That other cretin isn't fit to be within 50 yards of my darling Tita. Never mind actually getting friendly with her. So, you don't like Agate, huh? Don't you speak that filthy name in front of me ever again. Oh, when I'm finished with him, he'll wish he'd never been born. He might have survived that last onslaught, but we'll see how he fares against an even more powerful unit, won't we? I get the feeling this is a matter we're better off not prying into. I thought the same, so I don't know any more about it than you do. Incidentally, the Professor Russell you're more familiar with is currently vacationing abroad. As such, she has been assisting us with this case in his place. Oh, I see. Are you two listening to me? Of course, sorry. Well, whatever. that face is priceless. Like, again, Trail's characters give me Lunar vibes heavily. This staircase sure is long, though. How much farther do we have to go? Not much as far as I know. Yep, there we go. A dead end. I hope you've got a good explanation for this. I do. This isn't a dead end, but to go any farther, I'm going to need to undertake a ritual of sorts for me. Well, this certainly took a turn for the strange words. This is an example of the church's famous thaumaturgy? Thaumaturgy. So like signaturgy with thauma instead of signa. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Something like that, yes. Specifically, I would like you to undertake a form of suggestion. I'm not sure I follow. You want us to promise not to tell anyone what we see here, right? That's a little extreme, so no. The Colonel's obviously going to need to report what happened here to his superiors, for one thing. All I want you to promise is that you won't tell anyone who you aren't certain you can trust. I don't need you to say it, I just need you to think and believe it. Weird, but alright. If that's all you want us to do, so be it. I feel the same way. Should we deliberately repeat it in our minds, then? You don't even need to do that. It should just come completely naturally to you. Alright, here goes. In the name of she who dwells above, do I hold this consecrated septium. Space Golden's glow, consciousness silver glow. By your opposing natures, reveal to them the path that leads to your sacrament. Huh? It's a door! We all know what to say here. What? How did that door appear? It's the way to Alent. Thank you both for your assistance. I could see that you were true to your word. I see. So if we just said it, but it didn't really mean it, we wouldn't be able to see anything, right? And yet I can hardly believe what happened. I imagine it would be uncouth of me to ask how all this works. Yeah, I'd really rather you didn't. I just love it. Kevin's like, oh, just go with it. Don't bother asking the specifics. I love Kevin. Anyway, come on in. A primal ground. This flickering is annoying me. Wow. Unbelievable. All these years I had no idea that such a place lay hidden beneath Granso Cathedral. Well, it's not exactly something we publicize. It was built in accordance with the agreements between the church and royal family. It has but one purpose. To suppress the power of ancient artifacts and keep their influence in check. I see. Its importance to you Gross reader is quite clear then. I'd assume there are similar ones in place other than Liberal too. Well, I won't deny it. Anyway, we call this place a primal ground. Now there's a deep name if I ever heard one. Is the original ground the others are based on in Arteria? I'll take that as a yes. Oh, I'm not confirming anything. I was just thinking about how much you take after the other Professor Russell is all. Ugh, I'll thank you not to associate me with him. He might trump me a little in the theoretical side of things, but when it comes to practical sides of orbital science, I could beat him in my sleep. And I was the one who designed the fundamental systems of the Capelle and the Arsile, you know? Really? Nice. But I think we're getting off topic here. This is the objection, and this is the objection. This is the object in question, right? That's correct. It was pulled up 3 days ago from the area where the Liber Arc sank, and we believe it to be an artifact. 3 days prior, roughly at the center of Valeria Lake. This wouldn't be a Trails game with extremely long exposition in the beginning. Damn, sun's going down already, huh? Why's my mom trying to call me? She should know I'm streaming. Hang on, chat. Super important. Do I need to actually respond here? I don't think I do. Okay, good. If this spot turns out to be a bust, we're probably gonna have to call it quits for today. We can only hope. Professor Russell is certain that this is the area where we should be looking. Yep, and if she says it's here, it's here. Unfortunately, as you know, Valeria Lake's about as deep as a lake can get. Depending on how small the thing we're looking for is, actually finding it could be a real task and a half. Is it likely to be small, though? The orbital reading suggested we're dealing with quite a large object, I believe. Oh, I wouldn't judge its size based off of those. Ah, Professor. Hey there, kiddo. Finished getting us a new estimated location? Just about. It'd be real swell if you knocked it off with the kiddo, though. I'm not sure it's the most appropriate way to address a married woman, much less one who's already popped out a child. Sorry, but old habits die hard, you know. Hard to make the switch when I've been calling you that since you were about knee-high. Well, I'll let you off this time. Back to work. Can you ask your subordinates to stand down for the time being, Colonel? Is this the spot, then? Were you able to calculate exactly where the object is? Give or take an arch, yes. Judging by the readings, what we're trying to pull up isn't all that big either. Probably about 50 reach, maybe even less. You serious? Thought we'd be dealing with a real monster and not something the size of Antoine. Still, if it doesn't turn out to be an artifact, this could get problematic. Unfortunately, the church isn't gonna want to let us keep it, that's for sure. Oh, I really cannot stand them. No matter how hard you work to get your hands on something, the second it turns out to be an artifact, they swoop in like it's their goddess-given right to have it. It ticks me off. Erika is nothing like Tita, but I also like it. Easy there, we don't know for sure that this isn't even an artifact yet. Regardless, I'll pass on the message to my subordinates right away. I'll leave the rest here to you, Gustav. You got it. Let's see what we're dealing with, yeah? Flygon, welcome to stream. Just gotta have an interview with Matt tutoring place. Sounds fun. Okay, that's the spot. Go on ahead. Yes, ma'am, beginning the salvage operation. Yay, math, etc. Ah, that sound just fills me with dread. Does the salvage crane sounds like it's in poor condition to you? Oh, that's not really what I meant, words. I just can't bring myself to like artifacts, you see. We can't explain how they have the power they do, but they have it, and it's not something we can ignore either. As a researcher, I can barely imagine anything more frustrating. Even when we can't help but be captivated by them, we're well aware that any attempt to solve their mystery is pointless. I see. When you put it that way, I can understand to a degree how you must feel. Half a year has passed since all the chaos came to an end, and on the surface, we're back to normal. But even now, we still don't know what truly happened here or what it signified. Yeah. Not that I was here to see it all happen, of course. The crane arms reached the bottom of the lake. I'm gonna attempt to grip the object. Swing and a miss. Moving 30 reads to the right. Haha, there we go. Yep, we've got it. Want me to pull it up? Please do. A moment of truth, huh? This reminds me of when I used to go crabbing. This is like the first comparison I came up with. Here we go. Even though it's a crane. Oh, is that a fossil Pokemon? What? Oh my. How you like Erika so far? She's neat. We just met her, but her personality seems colorful. I see. Still looking at it. Correct. There were orbital readings coming from the artifact when we found it, but not anymore. And I'm sure I don't need to spell out the significance of that, do I? No, it's plain as day why you decided to stay and wait for me now. If an artifact has lost its power, it's exempt from the traditional agreements governing them and doesn't need to be given to the church, that's it. You already understand me so well, we can cut right to the chase. The orbital readings disappeared just before we handed the artifact over to the cathedral, as it so happens. It's currently being looked after here, but the formal procedures to transfer ownership have yet to be completed, making its legal owner unclear. So in your expert opinion, what should be done here? This is a tricky one. I'm assuming Liberl wants to assert ownership of it in this scenario, right? If anything, it's the professor here who wants to do that. I'm merely here accompanying her as a representative of the Royal Army. The only reason it's not lying at the bottom of Valeria Lake right now is because of ZCF's salvage efforts. I'd say we have every right to keep it, personally. From what I've heard, it's completely impossible to analyze an artifact that's no longer active. I don't see how it would be any use to your research as things stand now. But you're sure you want it that badly? Oh, absolutely. We're talking about an object found at the site where a massive flying city used to be. I might have not seen it happen, but it sounds like everything we thought we knew about the world was more or less proven wrong. You know, by the truth that you people in the church have kept hidden for the past, I don't know, 1,000 years. As for that Ouroboros group, they don't make much more sense than you guys. The more I hear about their advances in technology, the less I can work out how it's even possible. I don't know what the truth is or what's really happening here in this land, but I can't stand by and feign disinterest in knowing the answers anymore, and I'm far from alone. So long as there's the slightest chance that artifact could shed light on all of what I want to know, I want it. I think you've made your point, Professor. It's not as though interrogating him will achieve anything. True enough. Well, you've heard what I gotta say. It's now up to you to tell us what you're going to do. Will you hand over the lump of metal, or won't you? Well, that brief hesitation was all it took to spawn a great evil. Girl's voice.